Okay, you're telling yourself you've got plenty of time to finish the year strong, that there are 6 whole months to figure it out. But that's just not true. We don't really have 6 months left in the year. Not if you want to finish 2025 without stress, shame, and spiraling into December burnout. Why? Because November is about reflection and reset, but December is all about sacred rest. Ooh, wait, I want to shout out to Unjaded Jade for her video, My 95 Goals in 2025, because her message reminds us that it's never too late to dream big, and I'm all about that. But here's what I want to add. Right now, you're already doing a lot. And if you want to close out 2025, again, soft and strong, then your runway is actually shorter than what you think. You've actually only got about 90 days max. So I'm breaking down the myth of the 6 month runway starting from July and showing you how to really finish strong in 2025 without running yourself into the ground. So we're taught to think that the second half of the year is wide open, that we've got all this time to catch up, to push through and finally get it done. But here's the actual truth. You don't need to hustle more. You need a strategy. And the strategy starts with rest built into the plan. I work with high achieving Black women and all types of women every day who are done with burnout and done with pretending that they can do it all. This was the framework I use to help them finish the year grounded, clear, and guilt-free. So what you're going to learn in this video, you're going to learn why you only have 90 days to finish in 2025, how to shift your mindset to prevent burnout, and the simple mental switch that helps you stop rushing and start moving with clarity. So let's talk about the lie that you probably don't even know you believe. More than likely, you're like, hey, it's July, it's August. I have until December 31st to finish strong. I have literally to the last day of the year. So you keep pushing and grinding, hoping to catch up by the end of the year. But here's the truth. If you want to end the year proud and rested, your actual deadline is October 31st. Because the moment November hits, your schedule is shifting. Reflection starts sneaking in, travel ramps up for the holidays, holiday plans multiply. In December, you don't have time for much of anything else. So let's call out the real finish line so that you can stop pretending that you've got time and start planning for peace. Think about it. When have you ever had a productive December? Between the family gatherings, work wrap-ups, holiday pressure, and end-of-year fatigue, your body is done. Your calendar is done. Your brain is already in 2026. So here's the move. You got to shift your timeline. Start treating October 31st like it's your true deadline. You've got August, September, and October to focus. Prioritize. Make one meaningful push toward your biggest goal. This isn't about rushing, but aligning with your reality. The people who finish soft and strong, they're not grinding in Q4. They're resting because they planned in Q3. And that can be you. You don't need more time. You just need a better timeline. The finish line isn't December, it's Halloween. So plan accordingly and you can spend the holidays healed, not hustling. Okay, now that you've reframed that timeline, let's talk about what to focus on in those next 90 days. So let me guess, you're either stuck in indecision or you're grinding full speed with zero breaks. Absolutely none. We've been taught that the only way to finish strong is to power through nonstop. But constant motion doesn't mean forward momentum. Here's what's actually happening. The most effective women I know don't just sprint. They sprint, they coast, they finish, and then they rest. It's 4 steps in that process. That rhythm is how they take bold action without burning out. And more importantly, it's how they learn faster and pivot smarter. When we talk about work smarter, not harder, this is what that looks like. So let's break down how to structure your next 90 days using this rhythm so you don't just do more, you actually grow more. So whether you tend to freeze in analysis paralysis or move at hyper speed, the root problem is the same. You don't have a cycle for your productivity. You just got pressure pushing you up. But what if you stopped pushing the whole time and started pacing yourself for real results? So I want you to try this instead. For your sprint, pick one priority. Focus intently for 3 to 4 weeks. Go all in because this is where clarity is forged. Then I want you to coast. Maintain the momentum at like half intensity. You're still moving, but you're giving yourself some breathing room to kind of adjust and see what's happening. But I still want you to finish strong. So I want you to come back to your center, tighten up your loose ends, and wrap up with intention. No burnout at the end of that. Then shift into rest. Completely unplug, give yourself time to process what you've learned, and reset with fresh eyes. Now, here's the thing. You can switch up how long you do each one of these sections. Just make sure that you keep this in the same order and that you don't skip any steps, because this is how you fail fast and recover fast. And this is how you stop grinding and start growing, especially with rest in mind. Action without without rhythm leads to burnout, but rhythm without rest leads to stagnation, and we don't want either of those. So in this cycle, sprint, coast, finish, rest, this cycle, it builds wisdom, not just willpower. It honors your effort and your energy. So whether you've been stuck in indecision or sprinting without pause, this cycle brings you back to alignment. But here's the thing. Your rhythm only works if you stop trying to do everything. Did you hear me when I said that? So let's talk about how to choose one goal and go all in. Okay, wait, I just want to pause for a second. If you're ready to actually take action and figure this out, then you want to take my soft life assessment. It's just 2 minutes, 9 questions that are going to help you figure out what exactly is in the way, like what's blocking your soft life. Head to the link in the description. Take the assessment, get your results, and then let's have a conversation so you can finally get to being a rested queen. Take a pause and think about what's really draining your energy right now. You're looking at that list from January, the goals that you made at the beginning of the year, thinking if you just hustle a little bit harder, you can salvage them all before the year ends. But trying to finish everything is why you finish absolutely nothing. That doing it all mindset doesn't lead to success. It actually leads to self-sabotage, burnout, and guilt, this whole spiral that keeps you stuck. So instead of panicking, I'll show you how to choose one priority goal and go all in so you finish 2025 not only proud of what you did, but deeply aware of who you became. So this is the time of year urgency is everywhere. People start panicking over unfinished vision boards and untouched to-do lists, but here's what they forget. The goal was never actually to do it all. The goal is to become the woman who can do what matters most. Sometimes you have that list to try to figure out what it is, but here's how you make the shift. Look at your list of goals and ask yourself, which of these will still matter in February? Pick one that lights you up and stretches you. Now, I want you to give it 90 days of focus. No multitasking and no rescuing any abandoned resolutions. Just one, all in. This is how you build real momentum, and it's also how you confront your upper limit. Shout out to the Big Leap book. We all have a ceiling on how good we're willing to let our life get. And when we focus deeply on one meaningful goal, all of your fears, doubts, and default patterns that come up about all of that, you get to adjust that. That's not failure, that's growth waiting to happen. So when you push through that upper limit, you're not just checking off a goal, you're rewiring how you trust yourself. You don't need to do more. You need to do less with more intention. Choose one goal. Focus. Learn what it's like to really bet on yourself, to really bet on you. But listen, focus without rest is just another trap. The real flex is learning how to pursue your goals without pushing yourself to the edge. Okay, so with that, I want to shift to this next point. We're talking about how to make rest a part of your plan from day one. If you're planning the next 90 days, but your calendar doesn't include rest, you're already setting yourself up to absolutely crash. I just told you, sprint, coast, finish strong, rest. If you grew up in hustle culture like I did, you probably heard this growing up. Rest comes after the work is done, after the to-do list is cleared, after you've earned it. Man, that's absolute trash. It's easy to assume that sprinting means zero rest, that coasting means collapsing, and that rest only comes at the end. That's not what I'm saying in this cycle. That's not how we do things over here. Because if you don't rest during the sprint and the coast, and then you try to push and finish strong, you won't actually make it to the rest phase. Your body is going to shut down well before that happens. Burnout doesn't show up all at once. It sneaks in when you ignore your limits. And real rest isn't reactive, it's preventative. So let's talk about how you make rest a non-negotiable part of your productivity cycle so you're not collapsing, you're actually cruising. You already know what it feels like to push through, to squeeze in just one more task, to say, I'll rest when it's done. But somehow done never comes. That mindset is what keeps you tired and foggy and disconnected from yourself. So I want to flip it. Here's how to rest like a leader, not like a last resort. During your sprint, I want you to build in micro rest. These 10-minute breathwork breaks, unplugged lunches, screens off by 9. Think deeply about what those things are. During your coasting time, this is your integration time. Move slower, reflect, reset your nervous system, and really allow yourself to pay attention to your body. Then during your finish strong phase, I want you to choose your high leverage moves and protect your peace. This isn't the time to add new goals. This isn't the time to add new rest tactics. It's the time to guard your energy and run through the finish line. When you reach that final phase, that rest phase, you're not collapsing. You've actually been resting the whole time, and now you're just completing this cycle. Rest is not the pause between the chapters. It's what makes the story worth telling. Rest is how you stay aligned with yourself while moving forward. And most importantly, you already know this, but rest is not your reward. It's how you sustain your power without breaking yourself. This is how we break the cycle of burnout, not by doing less, but by doing it differently. If you're ready to work like a woman who trusts herself, map your rest in first. So like I said before, you don't actually have 6 months to finish this year strong, but you do have the next 90 days to shift your energy, focus your effort, and create a life that ends 2025 feeling strong, not frantic. You don't need to catch up. You need to come back to yourself. You need a plan that works with your energy, not against it. So if you're ready to create that plan, I want you to watch this next video. And if it's not quite here yet, don't worry, it's coming next week. How to finish 2025 strong by Halloween in just 90 days. See you in the next video.